Hello, everyone. It's been a while since we've done a deck review, and we're going to do a real obscure deck flip through today. This has been on my shelf for a couple years now, and it's called Egyptian Temple Cards, okay? And it was made by a guy named AJ Metcalfe by Osiren Enterprises. There's not much on this deck. It was printed in 1976, and it comes in this, at least the version that I got, it comes in this box, and it's got really beautiful, almost like psychedelic printing on it. And this is the inside, okay? And when I open it, or when you open it, it has this paper on the front, okay? And it has just a picture of an Egyptian, stereotypical Egyptian looking figure, past, present, future, and then key to the secret doctrine of ancient Egypt. And it comes with this instruction booklet. Okay. And the author claims that these cards hold Egyptian arcana inside of them. Now, it kind of seems like that he did his research. Uh, as we flip through the deck, you'll see that there's all sorts of hieroglyphs on the cards. Now, if you're versed in Egyptian hieroglyphs, this stuff might be able to tell you things. I personally am not versed in Egyptian hieroglyphs, but I do appreciate the art. And as we go through the deck, I'm going to tell you the names of the cards. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to read each piece because that would be a lot, but I will tell you the name of the card. So without further ado, let's begin. So this is the Hierophant, okay? And as we can see, we have quite a bit going on here. And this is the back. These are what the backs look like, okay? Now we have the Pharaoh. The Queen. Some of them have the hieroglyphs, some of them don't. And it's interesting because as I was looking through this deck, putting them in order for you guys, there is tarot influence, okay? So here we have, actually he calls it the Charioteer, but we also have the white and the black horse, okay? This is the naval commander. Obviously, very tarot. They deviated from the tarot quite a bit. And this is a deck of 54 cards. So this kind of follows more of like the playing card deck, even though it's used for divination. The steward. It's obviously a steward of some money there. Gold. And now we have the judge. Now, I'm not quite sure if this is the first edition or the second edition. On the copyright, it says that it's printed in 1976, and the original copy was printed in 74. So I'm just going to guess that this is the second edition. Here we have the jailer. Quite a nasty armbar he's got on him there. The doctor, and we do have the wand of Hermes up in the right hand corner. Next we have the merchant, and as you can see, there are numbers in the bottom left hand corner of each card, so if you're versed in numerology, you could possibly draw some influence from that too. Now we have the magician. It's a very cool magician card. The oracle. The musicians. This next one coming up here is really funny, guys. The bread kneader. This is so funny. Kneading bread. And if you don't know what kneading is, it basically means like softening dough. Okay. The thief. I like these names. They're very cool. This one's called the enemy. The poetess. This one is the scribe. This one is Mut, M-U-T. I might be pronouncing this incorrectly, but it's called the mother in parentheses. And the booklet has pictures of each one, so you don't have, it's not hard to get confused here. This is called the Keeper of Idols. Now, if you know anything about modern religion, especially Islam, idols are strictly forbidden. And as the centuries progressed, and all that influence from ancient Egypt and the Middle East got basically obliterated by Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, and idolization became the biggest sin, the greatest sin in Islam. And we can kind of see that transfer over into Christianity because it's nearly impossible to depict God. Okay. Now we have the husbandman. Interesting way to frame that. You'd think a husband would be a man, but who knows? Maybe he was making this deck for the 21st century. Okay. The first priest of the temple. Now, what's interesting is that he makes 12 priests of the temples, and I'm wondering if he was trying to correlate these 12 priests to the 12 zodiac. You can decide for yourself. Okay. We have the second priest of the temple. Here we have the third priest of the temple. Now, I'm not real big on Egyptian systems. I do really like Crowley's Thoth deck, but purely, and that has influence from Western society, Eastern society, Egyptians, cultures. That's not strictly Egyptian, but this one is just straight up Egyptian. Now, I'm not quite sure why I don't like or don't really follow Egyptian stuff. It is interesting, and I do think that there is value to it, but it's just not my go-to. The fourth priest of the temple. Give you guys a bit more of a look from that. We have Cancer sign, possibly Cancer. The fifth priest of the temple. A little gruesome there, almost like a hangman, faux hangman. The sixth priest of the temple. The seventh priest of the temple. I do find this interesting. Priests of the temple and then aligning them with 12, which is kind of cool. And we're at the 8th priest. Now this next one is really cool. But we'll just wait till we get there. This is the 8th priest. Wheat. The 9th priest of the temple. The 10th priest of the temple. The goat in the background could be Capricorn. The more I'm looking at this, I do think he aligned them with the zodiac. Okay, now he skips, so in the book, he skips to the 12th priest of the temple. And there is an 11th, but there is a card in between, as you'll see. This is the 12th priest. And I'm not sure why he did that. If you know about Egyptian stuff, please let me know. So he puts the oil bearer as number 33, and then he places the 11th priest after that. It's the oil bearer. Now this is the 11th priest, okay? Now this is called the goldsmith and the lovers. Interesting hand gestures. This is the merchant ship. The architect. Sorry, my phone's been adjusting a little bit. The temptress. The wrestlers. The messenger. Again, this is by A.J. Metcalfe, 1976. The bearer of secrets. Here we are, the iconic Sphinx. Ha, he puts it at 42. If you know the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll get that reference. The keeper of the eagle. I like the keeper of the eagle. She's got something about her that's just nice. All right. The beggar. The maid with the mirror. There's something about this deck that it just seems kind of sexual. The water bearer. Maybe Aquarian. Very interesting. I'm going to flip through these last few of them very quickly. The Prime Minister. The woman in blue. The woman in green. The woman in purple. The woman in red. The embalmers. Like they're embalming a mummy, preserving the body. The fowl. And we have the pygmy. Also inside the booklet, he gives a couple interesting spreads. One spread that I actually really like, that I personally use a lot. But anyway, without further ado, enjoy the rest of your day, guys.